Hey guys, what's going on? This is Barbara from Inspired Paper and Designs, soon to be Inspired Paper Company. And today we are going to get back to the basics. And I'm going to teach you in a few videos how to publish on Amazon KDP. So, the first thing we're going to go through is creating your line pages. So I'm using Canva. I'm also going to use the help of ChatGPT to help me with this. And then if you go to the description below, I'm going to give you this KDP cheat sheet, which actually will list the different links and things that I mentioned in this video. It'll all be on this cheat sheet. And the good thing about it is on Google Drive. And the reason I did that is so that I can make updates as needed and it'll be in real time. So I'm doing this, you're watching over my shoulder. So if I make mistakes and all of that good stuff, you'll actually see it in real time, but that's good because you can learn from my mistakes. So let's get started. I'm in Canva. I'm going to click on create and then I'm going to do custom size. And as you can see, my 6x9 is already up here. 6x9 is the common size that most people use for notebooks in Amazon. You definitely can use a variety of sizes. You want to make sure that you pay attention to the size that is popular with your community that you're generating the notebooks for. I'm just going to stick with this for now. It's in inches. And then I'm going to go ahead and click create new design. So I already know there's different formatting sizes that I need, but we're going to use ChatGPT so that you can do this on your own and use ChatGPT to help you. So this is my 6x9 page. The first thing I want to do is I want to set my rulers and guides to help me to make sure that I keep everything in the print area. I usually do 0.5 margin around the edges. So I'm going to go to File. And then from there, where's it at? Hold on. And I apologize if it's lagging on the video. If it lags too much, I might pause and do what it needs to do and then come back to it. But let's give it a second. So we're going to go to, I don't want you to see that side. I want to make sure I have more space so that you can see more of it in the video. So let's go to File. We're going to go to Settings, and we're going to show Rulers and Guides. So that gives you the ruler up here and over here. Then we're going to go back to File, Settings, and we're going to add guides. So I use this feature in order to lock in my guides so that way I know where I need to place stuff. So a custom, and we're going to do one column. We're going to do one row. I do not touch the gap, but I do go over here to margin, and I'm going to do 0.5 here, 0.5 here, and then I'm going to do add guides. And from there, you see that the guides are added and locked, but you can unlock it if need be. So we know we want to stay within this particular area. So now I want to do my lines. This is where I'm going to use ChatGPT. So I'm going to come over to ChatGPT and I'm going to give it a basic prompt. And I will include the prompt that I use here to get started. I will include it on the cheat sheet. I might even include the link to the whole conversation, but let's see what ChatGPT gives us. So I'm going to say, hey, please act like a six-figure self-publisher using Amazon KDP. I would like to ask you hold on, let me give it that period. I would like to ask you a series of questions I would like to ask you a series of questions to create my first blank line notebook using Canva. Then I'll say, do you understand my request? And this is just a basic prompt. I might actually run it through ChatGPT to get a more detailed prompt that'll give you a better response. But for now, we're just going to do this. Like I said, you're seeing it in real time. I actually am in a group called DCTs on school, where Coach Misha Brown is the owner of the group, and she is amazing. She is killing it in the AI space. I will also leave a link to that, because if you want to get started with AI and you want to learn how to do what I'm teaching you and more, you want to be a part of the school community, and I'll definitely make sure I drop the link onto the KDP listing. So, matter of fact, I'm going to write that down so that way I won't forget. All right. So it says, yep, I got you. I've stepped into that mode, and I'm going to walk you step by step. I don't really want it to walk me step by step, but let's just see. I'll ask you one clear question at a time. I'll explain why, blah, blah, blah. Think of it like someone who's published hundreds of books and wants you to skip the lessons. Creating one book. Question one: when you imagine this book, which direction feels most true? I really didn't want all of that. I just really wanted to be able to ask questions, and I'm just going to say, I am going to ask you specific questions. My first question is, how much space do you recommend should be between each line? So let's see what it says. I did this before and I got a different response. So that's why I'm just curious to see what it does now. All right. And so it's answering you as if it's a six-figure KDP notebook seller. Okay, so this is saying 0.30, which is interesting because in the last video it said 0.33. So it's saying that this is, it's a comfortable size. It's not as wide rule, and it's not, I think it might not be as small as college rule. And then it gives you common alternatives to use and why. It doesn't recommend wide rule or college rule because it's saying it's too small and too big. So it's saying, then it's telling you, I think, how to actually do it. So we're going to say, we're going to use 0.3. So then I'm going to say, okay, another question. How much space is between the top of the page and the first line? So now I want to know, how some pages, all pages have that like space in between, but at the very top, I want to see what it tells me. So it's saying to leave 0.75 inches up at the top, and then it's going into why, and then it's giving you, based on other books, what to avoid and all of that. Then the last question I'm going to ask is, I'm going to say, thank you. What color should the lines be? And that's going to be the last question I ask before I go ahead and get started. And so it's telling me this is kind of like a grayish, like it says soft medium gray. So, and it says, what they use is actually 0.75 and the line thickness is 1. So we're going to probably stick with that. And then it does give you some variations dependent. So let's go back. So we got a lot of information. So let's go back to our page. So we already know that this is 0.5. So now we know that we want it to be 0.75 to where our first line is. So let's go over to elements. And in elements, I'm going to go ahead and click on line. And it was already in my recent, but just to show you where it is. From there, I clicked on shapes, and we're going to select that line. All right. So we know we want this line to be at 0.75. So a trick you can use, if you click on position and you go down to the bottom, it says start X, start Y. So we want to make our Y 0.75. That's where it's going to start, and that's where it's going to end. The point, wait a minute, 0.75. 0.75, oops, 0.75. All right, and let me see, 0.75, 0.75, and then we're going to drag this over. Oops, and I messed it up, but that's fine. Now you can see how I moved it by accident, but all I have to do is just go back here and just change it to 0.75, and it automatically fixes it for me. And then I'm going to drag it over, make sure it stays at 0.75, which it did. So now we're going to go ahead and adjust the color and the thickness. So the color, well, let's do the thickness. The thickness right here, the weight, I should say, we're going to make it 1, like it recommended. And then for the color, I'm going to go back. I can't remember what it said for color. Let me see. So here it says between these two, but then I think it said that it would actually suggest using this. So let's see what this looks like. And we're going to go back to our page. I'm going to click on document colors. I'm click on add a new color, and I'm going to go ahead and paste that one, hit enter, and that's the line that we have. So we have our first line. So now we have to make some more. So I'm going to go ahead and hit duplicate, go back to position, and we need to know what the spacing is going to be between each one. So instead of us like pulling out a calculator and adding it, we're just going to go back and we're going to say, I have my first line at 0.75. Can you please can you please tell me where each line should be placed based on the 0.30 spacing? And let's see what it says. Now I'm hoping it gives me a list of where all of them should be so that way I don't have to worry about adding it. And that's exactly what it did. So we know we have 0.75, so we know it should be, and I'm gonna write this down, 1.05, 1.35, 1.65. I'm not gonna write the whole entire list because I don't need to. And you'll see why in a second. So now we know this one should be at, where was it? 0.75. So we know this one should be at 1.05. So you can go over here, and I could have typed it to make it easier, but I was trying to guesstimate. So that's at 0.5, 1.05. So then we're going to do the next one, and it automatically went to 0.35. So Canva understands what I'm trying to do. So now that I have a few lines done, I'm going to go ahead and highlight these lines. I'm not going to group them, which I could do, but instead I'm just going to duplicate. And then I'm going to pull it down. And then Canva knows to automatically kind of sort of start trying to dictate the spacing. So you see that it did change a little bit to 0.29, which I could always adjust if I wanted to, but I'm gonna kind of leave it there for right now. I might space it a little bit, but let me see. We're going to delete that, and let's see. If I go back to here for position, 0.75, 1.05, it looks like it's basically saying that it's doing what it's supposed to do. So the spacing is right. And what I normally do is I will go and highlight all of them as well. I will go to position, and I will do tidy up just to kind of get it in order if it's not already there. And then the last thing I'm going to do, I don't like the spacing like that. So I'm going to drag it down a little bit to be closer to the edge, but also I know it's going to present some more white space up here. Again, that's just my preference, that is closer to the bottom as opposed to being where it was located. So that's our first page, our first blank line page. So next, I think I want to go ahead and add who the book belongs to. So I went ahead and I clicked on add a page, and then I used the arrow to move it up. So as you can see, page 2 is the blank lines. So from here, I'm just going to do something really simple. I'm just going to click on text, and I'm just going to type this page belong or this notebook belongs to. Something nice and simple. I'm gonna change the font in a second, but I'm gonna just type it in here. This notebook belongs to. Oops, I spelled belongs too long. And like I said, in this video, we're just going to do a simple blank line notebook. And in other videos, I'll show you some ways you can jazz it up. So we have this book belongs to, and then if you click up here where the font is, you can play with the font. Um, and I have fonts that I got from Creative Fabrica, um, which included in my Creative Fabrica membership. So I will go ahead and add that link as well to the KDB listing cheat sheet. Again, make sure you go down below the video and grab this cheat sheet. It's completely free. So I'll make sure I add that in case you want to do fonts outside of Canva so your notebook looks slightly different than everyone else's. Let's see what holiday looks like. Um, let's keep it a holiday for right now. You want to make sure you get a font that people can read. I just kind of like holiday, and I can't remember if this is a Canva one or if this is one I grabbed from Creative Fabrica. Um, so, and then let me add the S. So I'm not really sure what you want to be mindful of, and I'm so glad that idea just came to me. Thank you, Holy Spirit. You want to be mindful of the fonts. You want to make sure any elements, any fonts, any images, anything you use in Canva, please, please, please use free. The way you can tell it was free, if you see this crown, then that means it's a paid feature or paid font. Let me see if I can. So all of these are the ones I downloaded from Creative Fabrica, which was included in their it was included on Creative Fabrica and within their terms of use. Again, make sure you read the terms of use. I'm trying to see if there's any fonts that'll pop up with the crown, but I may have already selected free. So let me see. But if you go here to filters, you can click on free and hit apply. And then that way, you know, all the fonts that come up are free fonts. But again, just make sure it doesn't have that crown. So as long as you don't see, where is it at? This crown next to it, then it's a free element that you can use at the time of this recording. But as always, check with Canva's terms of use to make sure you're not violating anything. Now, that was my little public service announcement. So here is the this notebook belongs to, and I'm just going to drag this out so that way I definitely know it's in the center. So from there, I'm going to have that there, and I'm just going to go ahead and go down to the second page, copy this line, and I'll probably make this line black just to go with the, you know, the feel of, to go with the vibe of this belongs to. So we're going to go here, and we're going to click on that. And then I'm gonna drag it in a little bit. And that's right there. So now we have this page, but well, this notebook belongs to, and then we have our first blank line. So I'm gonna go here to grid view, and now we're going to duplicate the pages. Most journals or most notebooks come with 100 pages, which is 50 sheets. So I'm going to duplicate this. So I'm gonna go ahead and hit duplicate, and we'll do up to 11. So that's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm going to click on the first page, hold down my shift key, and remember I'm using a MacBook. And I'm going to go to here, and you see these are highlighted. So then I'm going to do duplicate 10 pages. So now these 10 pages are highlighted. So I'm going to go back up to the top, hold down my shift key, hit that, duplicate again, and now we have 40 pages. So these last pages should be highlighted. I'm just going to double check. Oh, they're not. That's fine. Click on that one, hold down my shift key, go back up to the top, click on this. Oh, let me try again. Highlight that, shift, go down below. What? Hold on. Let me see. I wonder why it's not letting me do it. Let me see if I have to kind of do it the slow way. Oh, it's not letting me do it because I'm going to the pages. That's fine. So let's go. Let's see if it'll let me do 20. I think it did kind of let me do 20. Let me see. If I click on 2, 12, is it going to let me go down a little bit? No, that's fine. Let's go 12. And let's do duplicate. And then let me, I think if I make it smaller, I could probably do it, but we're just going to go ahead and, for purposes of this video, we're going to make this real quick. So we just go here, we go here, And I'm just going to hit duplicate a couple of times. Let me see where we at, 72. Let's go here, shift here, and let's duplicate. And I'm sure if I made my screen smaller, I probably would be able to, but I I want to go ahead and wrap up this video and then make another video as a part two. So we're at 96. So we're just going to add this, and that should give us what we need. All right. So we have all of our pages, and I'm going to go up here to where it says this notebook belongs to, because it changed it based on my first page. And I'm just going to change this to, um, let's say 6x9 Amazon KDP blank line pages. So we have our interior done. And like I said, I will make sure that I add this. I will make sure that I add this to the KDP cheat sheet. Again, make sure you go down below and get a copy. Get your own copy. And in the next video, we'll go over how to create a cover for your notebook. All right, guys. Until then, be blessed and talk to you soon.